Hey, it's Keisha. Welcome and welcome back. We are now starting a new series. So before we begin, let us begin by first gently closing our eyes and taking a deep breath in and letting it out. Another deep breath in and out. With each breath, gently begin to call all of your power, all of your being back to yourself. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more and more present and more whole. And now with the breath, begin to pick up any cares, concerns, worries, errant thoughts, and just send them up into a balloon just above the head. And now when you've gathered all of those errant thoughts into the balloon, gently blow the balloon up into the ethers. And just see it drifting away. And now return your focus back to yourself. Notice how much clearer and lighter you are. Now see a column of white light coming down over you. And breathe in that light. Feel it quickening the cells of your body. Feel it filling the spaces between the cells. With each breath, you're becoming more and more of the light. Less and less of a boundary between you. Begin to see and feel yourself as a ball of light sitting within this column. And now we'll begin to lift up in the column, lift up higher and higher, out of the worldly way, out of this physical dimension, out of physicality. Just feel yourself disconnecting from those earthly bonds. Lifting up into that space of peace, that space of oneness. Finding your spot in the sacred grove, where we'll begin our lesson. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. I tell you, I almost wasn't ready. It's not like we don't have access to this all the time. It's not like you can't, run this minute, 2 minutes, anytime on your own. And yes, I meditate, but I don't do that enough. It is a tremendously auspicious time that we are starting this practice now at the beginning of what you might have heard quite a bit about, which is Pluto's in Aquarius, especially on this new moon weekend, just before other planets like Mars, Venus, Mercury are all going to move into Aquarius. What that means overall is that it's a time of rebirth and new beginnings. And it is in that spirit that I'm really excited for us to begin. We're going to be reading from this book Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. It's the teachings of Abraham, and it's teachings on learning how to manifest your desires. Ask and It Is Given is from a verse in the Bible. It's Matthew verses 7 and 8. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it will be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. In this video, I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but I imagine just because it is the beginning of the series and there's some setup, that it may be a little long. And I was thinking about that. And one, Spirit said include timestamps. That will help you decide how much you can watch at a certain time if your time is limited. The other thing was very clear, and that was the messages I deliver don't give a damn about your attention span. And so if the video is 40 minutes and you only have 20, look for the timestamps to watch the chunk that you can when you can, and then come back within the week to finish it up. And the reason that we can't give too much focus to our attention span and the length of a video, if we're going to make progress, these things that we want to make progress on, they require more than a 10-minute video can encompass. They're more than a minute short, right? And so if there is something of value that you wanted to build, you would expect to put a significant amount of time and effort into it. This series and pretty much all the videos that I do are all about helping you craft the keys of wisdom to your kingdom within. And so that requires a certain amount of time and attention. Time to explore the theory behind it, behind the teaching, so that you understand, so that you have a firm foundation, and then time to practice and experience the things that we're going to be talking about. Again, if don't be put off by the link that you see on the video when you initially pull it up. I'm going to commit to putting in timestamps, so hopefully that will help. So I want to begin with the foreword, which is written by Wayne. Actually, before we get to that, because I found it tremendously interesting and exciting when I started reading the book this afternoon. Oh, actually, you know what? I should back up just a little bit and tell you how this came to me. I just moved to Atlanta, and I was working in a hair care lab / studio, and I didn't have my own car yet, but I was trying to figure out how I was going to make that work, and just setting up my life when I just moved from Korea. And one of the owners had mentioned this process that you put down an amount of money that you want to manifest, and then make spiritual withdrawals till you get down to zero, and then each day go back and add $100 to that amount, and then spiritually withdraw it. And that's a way to help manifest your money. It gets your mind conditioned to the idea of receiving money and then spending it. So I thought, what a cool idea. Okay, I'll try that. And so I didn't really know where to start. I mean, I just moved to Atlanta. I'd really pretty much just come into metaphysics as a discipline. And so I started with a checkbook register and an entry for $1,500. And I wrote deposit for a car and something else, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, deposit for a car isn't quite specific enough. I need to get specific about what kind of car I want. And so I put down deposit on a new BMW. And within, I think about a week or two, it was maybe about 2 weeks, I checked my bank balance and I had a deposit for like $1,700. And I was like, what? And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to buy? What am I going to get? And I started thinking about all these different things that had come up in those 2 weeks about things that I wanted to get. And I was like, no, wait a minute. I have my little register. I was doing that little game. Let me see, what did it say I should do if I had $1,500 come to me? Because I knew enough that I needed to be respectful to the discipline. So if I say I'm going to receive money and I say I'm going to spend it on that purpose, I need to spend it on that purpose. So I go back to my little register and I look and it said down payment on a BMW. And I was like, you're damn straight. I need to get a car. Let me go do this. So I think that was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I went out to the dealership and I'm getting, what did I get? What was my first car? Oh, a 325 CI. And it was literally like, just like that. And, so like I roll into work on Monday and they're like, what are you driving? And I'm like, well, I manifested a BMW because I followed this process. And so we talked about it. And then later on, there was an opportunity. We were exchanging gifts. And they gave me this book telling me that process came from this book and that I might enjoy reading it and trying some of the other processes in it. Interestingly enough, my manifestation of that BMW just that quickly showed them that these things are possible, and they ended up manifesting one a short time later. So that too was an interesting, reminder for me that we never know how we're affecting people in our environment. And when we do something, that opens the door possibility for other people to see that it can be done for them as well. And so it's important for us to do the work, and it's important for us to share our successes. So that is how I came to this book. Now, did I read it? Did I read it 15 years ago when it was given to me? No! It has been sitting on my shelf. I have moved it from place to place. I never wanted to give it up. I review my books from time to time when I think about what I might want to sell or trade. But this was always one that was like, nope, you're in my collection. I'm going to get to it eventually. And when we were coming to the end of the aquarium and I was thinking about what was next, Spirit said, you should do something fun and foundational. And I'm like, what does that look like? And that reminded me of this book because it's divided into two parts. There's an exposition and explanation about these principles. And then the second half of the book is divided into these processes. And so that's how I came to choose, or Spirit chose through me, this book that we're doing now. And I like to start every book from the very beginning, from the very front flap. And so this has some words of praise that I think may help you get excited about the journey that we'll take as we move into the book. From Neil Donald Walsh, who wrote Conversations with God. One of the most powerful books I've ever read. One's entire life can change because of what is found here. From Louise Hay, who is, the mother of metaphysics in terms of, Hay House Publishing. Asking It Is Given gives us 22 different powerful processes to achieve our goals. No matter where we are, there's a process that can make our lives better. John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. These profound and extremely practical teachings, right? Wayne Dyer, who also wrote the foreword for this book. You'll be fortunate to tap into the thinking of those who are permanently connected to Source. It's in a language you'll understand and be able to instantly translate into action. They offer you no less than a blueprint for understanding and implementing your own destiny. Alan Cohen, the author of A Deep Breath of Life. The Abraham Hicks teachings have inspired me to a grand new level of clarity, confidence, purpose, and passion. The most powerful and transformational I have ever encountered. Jack Canfield, the author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Profound yet simple and practical teachings will have you trusting your inner guidance again, will set you on a course for the most uplifting adventures possible, or imaginable, sorry. And then lastly, from Doreen Virtue, this book presents profound truth in such a down-to-earth way. It's a refreshing tone. Its refreshing tone is supportive, loving, and completely positive. I don't know. When I read that, I was even more excited. I mean, even though I know the power of the book because, of my history with it, just hearing that. And if you notice, the word powerful, profound, simple, practical, those words kept coming up again and again. And I think that's what we need right now, right? We need access and insight to make things change and to, command our world with a sense of urgency and also consistency, so that it happens not just once and we wonder, oh, was that a fluke? But that it happens with a regularity because we have mastered the underlying principles. So Wayne Dyer, as I mentioned, wrote the foreword for the book, and some of the things that he's mentioned that I do want to share. Abraham, who I'll introduce further, but Abraham is the one who's providing these teachings, would call your soul your vibrational connection to source. Okay? This universe is a universe of vibration. The teachings of Abraham essentially are focused on helping you return to that source from which all things originate, back to which we will return to as well. By reading this book, you are in direct conscious contact with a cadre of honest, no-nonsense beings who have only your well-being in mind. The message here is quite startling yet simple. You came from a source of love and well-being. You're about to embark on a life-changing journey. I encourage you to read the words carefully and apply them instantly. And that's a really important point. Throughout this series of videos, and in the videos that I'll be doing on Wednesday, which will be more energy-focused, technique-focused, it's important that you not just watch the video and hear the words, but that you actively employ them at some point throughout the week. The more often you can apply them before the next time we meet, the better. That's where you're going to see your greatest resonance and progress. But the time for simply sitting back and absorbing is over. It's time for us to actively engage with the material that we are encountering to make it real in our lives. Jerry Hicks, who is Esther's husband. Esther is the one through whom this book is being channeled. And we'll come to that in a moment. But he writes, Asking It Is Given is certainly a book about our asking being answered by all that is. But it's primarily about how whatever we're asking for is given to us. It's a simple, practical formula for how to ask for and then how to receive whatever we want to be, do, or have. Please note that since we aren't always, there aren't always physical words to perfectly express non-physical thought that'll come up in the book. And that's just a note for as you're reading it, some words are going to be capitalized because they represent a greater concept than simply the typical English language translation that we would use. For instance, there's the common term well-being, which would be the state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous. But the basis of Abraham's philosophy is translated into English as well-being, like with the capital W and capital B. It's about the broader, universal, non-physical well-being that flows to all of us naturally unless we do something to pinch it off. So well-being, not just this state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous, but also this greater concept of energy that is always available to us and flowing to us if we allow it. This book offers a hands-on course in practical and spiritual. This book offers a hands-on course in spiritual practicality. It's a how-to book in the broadest sense of the term. That is, how to be, do, or have anything that pleases you. The reason I tripped up on my words there is because there's a book by Jonathan Randolph Price called Practical Spirituality, and they're the same thing. There's spiritual practicality and spiritual spiritual practicality and practical spirituality. They mean the same thing. It's bringing the essence of spirit into our physical world, and making use of those gifts and talents. Then Esther, who is the one channeling the book, has a few words that I wanted to share. When she was first being introduced to these non-physical entities, she had a conversation with one named Theo and asked the question, how can we more effectively achieve our goals? And the answer was meditation and affirmation. Now, she was a neophyte at the time, and so asked the question, what is meditation? And so the answer that came back was, sit in a quiet room, wear comfortable clothing, and focus on your breathing. As your mind wanders, and it will, release the thought, and again, focus on your breathing. When we come to our series of meditation, we'll revisit that, but that's really all that it is. And even the beginning of this video, that short moment of connection that we did, that's a meditation. So it's really quite that simple. There may be times in the book when I refer to they, them. That is because the concept of Abraham, it's a collective of non-physical beings, and they are part of a collective consciousness. Abraham is not a singular consciousness as you feel that you are in your singular body, so it's slightly different from us. Abraham is a collective consciousness. There is a non-physical stream of consciousness, and as one of you asked the question, there are many, many points of consciousness that are funneling through what feels to be the one perspective that would be able to answer you. But these non-physical beings are multidimensional, multifaceted, and certainly multi-consciousness. Abraham went on to explain that instead of offering blocks of thought, or instead of offering individual words or sentences, he's offering blocks of thought, much like radio signals. So this is her explaining how she's downloading this material. It's not coming through word by word necessarily, but blocks of thought. And so that first block of thought that she received was, I am Abraham, your spiritual guide. I am here to work with you. I love you. We will write a book together. And that book is this, or that work is this book. Abraham explained that the reason why Jerry and Esther are the perfect combination for doing this work and presenting this material is because Jerry had a very powerful desire to have these questions, these questions of the universe answered. And Esther had an absence of opinion or angst about the information or what those answers might look like. And so that made her a worthy vessel of being able to share it, because there wasn't any consternation or judgment. It's not that collective consciousness's work to decide what we should want, but rather to help us in achieving our desires. Abraham is not about guiding anyone toward or away from anything. We want you to make all of your own decisions about your desires. Our only desire is that you discover the way to achieve your desires. If you'd like more information on the idea of channeling and channeled messages and where Jerry and Esther come into play in all of this, you can go to abraham-hicks.com for a free download, or it's a free video. It's about 74 minutes, and that'll give you a little more background. So moving into Abraham's work. We are called Abraham, and we are speaking to you from the non-physical dimension. Of course, you must understand that you have also come forth from the non-physical dimension, so we are not so different from one another. In fact, you and your physical world are extensions of the non-physical source energy. Abraham is a family of non-physical beings, naturally assembled by our powerful intention to remind you, our physical intentions, that's us, of the laws of the universe that govern all things. It is our intention to help you remember you are extensions of source energy, that you are blessed, loved beings, and that you have come forth into this physical time-space reality to joyously create. All who are physically focused have non-physical counterparts, and you have access to the broader perspective, that which is the non-physical. While all physical humans have access to the clear communication from the non-physical, most are not consciously aware of it. And often, even when you are aware that it is possible, you hold habits of thought that act as resistance, hindering your ability to consciously interact. It is our powerful desire that you be pleased with where you are right now in this moment. It is our absolute promise to you that when you understand the power of feeling good now, no matter what, you will hold the key to achievement at any state of being, any state of health, any state of wealth, any state of anything you desire. These pages are specifically written to give you a better understanding of yourself and of everyone else around you, and you may find some of that helpful, but words really don't teach. Your true knowledge comes from your own life experience. And while you will be a constant gatherer of experience and knowledge, your life is not only about that. It is about fulfillment, satisfaction, and joy. Your life is about the continuing expression of who you truly are. We are talking to you on many levels of awareness, all at the same time, but you will only receive what you are ready to receive. Do you know what you want? Do you know that you are the creator of your own experience? Are you enjoying the evolution of your desire? Do you feel the freshness of new desire pulsating within you? If you are among those who say yes, great. But if you are, as most humans are, feeling somewhat unhappy about your unfulfilled desires, that you have a desire for more money, but you find yourself short, that you're not satisfied with your job, and you feel stuck, even though you can't see a way of improving it. If your relationships aren't satisfying, if your body doesn't look and move and feel the way that you want it to, then there are some very important and rather easy to understand things that we would like to convey. We want to give you this information because we want you to find your way to all the things that you desire. And now, as you hold this book in your hands and as you watch these videos, you are completing the promise that you made, right? So their promise was to share the information, and our promise is to live in joy and access it. You said, this is us when we come into our physical existence, I will go forth into the physical time-space reality among other beings, and I will assume an identity with a clear and specific perspective. I will learn to see myself from that point of view, and I will enjoy being seen as that from that point of view. You said, I will observe what surrounds me, and my response to what I observe will cause my own valuable personal preferences to be born. You said, I will know the value of my preferences. I will know the value of my perspective. And then you said, and this is most important of all, I will always feel the power and value of my own personal perspective, for the non-physical energy that creates worlds will flow through my decisions, my intentions, and my every thought for the creation of that which I set into motion from my perspective. You said, I will love pouring myself into this physical body, into physical time-space reality, for that environment will cause me to focus the powerful energy that is me into something more specific. And in the specifics of that focus, there will be powerful motion forward and joy. Abraham reminds us, we are here to help you remember the powerful nature that is you, and to assist you in returning to that confident, joyous, always looking for something else, wonderful thing to turn your attention to person that is you. We want you to remember that there is nothing you cannot be, do, or have, and we want to assist you in achieving that. We want to help you leave behind any perceptions you have picked up along your physical trail that are thwarting your joy, and power. And we want to help you reactivate the powerful knowing that pulses within every core of that which you are. You are born with an innate knowledge that you do create your own reality. But still, within you today lives the knowledge that you are the creator of your own life experience, that absolute freedom exists as the basis of your true experience, and that ultimately the creation of your life experience is absolutely and only up to you. It's up to us. This book is about your realignment with source energy. It is about your reawakening to the clarity, goodness, and power that is really who you are. Once you have realigned with eternal forces and universal laws, then joyous creation beyond physical description awaits you. You are eternal beings who have chosen to participate in this specific physical life experience for many wonderful reasons. And this time-space reality on planet Earth serves as a platform in which you are able to focus your perspective for the purpose of specific creation. In other words, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Well-being is the basis of this universe. Well-being is the basis of all that is. This book is about consciously allowing your natural connection to the stream of well-being. It is about remembering who you are so that you can get on with the creation of your life experience in the way that you intended before you came into this physical body. So you might ask, why is it taking so long for me to get what I want? It is not because you do not want it enough. It is not because you are not intelligent enough. It is not because you are not worthy enough. It is not because fate is against you. It is not because someone else has already won your prize. The reason you have not already gotten what you desire is because you are holding yourself in a vibrational holding pattern that does not match the vibration of your desire. That is the only reason ever. So now the only thing you need to do is gently and gradually, piece by piece, release your resistant thoughts. Your increasing relief will be the indication that you are releasing resistance, just as your feelings of increased tension, anger, frustration, and so on have been your indicators that you have been adding to your resistance. Well-being flows. Well-being wants you. Well-being is everything you have ever desired, whether spoken or unspoken, has been transmitted by you vibrationally. It has been heard and understood by Source and has been answered. And now you are going to feel your way into allowing yourself to receive it, one feeling at a time. You and that which you call Source are the same. You cannot be separated from Source. Source cannot be separated from you. You cannot offer a thought which would cause total separation. But you can offer thoughts that are different enough in vibrational nature to hinder your natural connection with Source. We refer to that condition as resistance. The only form of resistance is offered by you from your physical perspective. Source is always available to you, and well-being is constantly extended to you. From the non-physical, you created you. And now from the physical, you continue to create. This book is not about the expanding universe, or about Source answering your every request, or about your worthiness, for all that is a given. This book is about you putting yourself in a vibrational place of receiving all that you have asked for. Your desires and beliefs are just thoughts. Ask, and it is given. You ask through your attention, through your wanting, through your desire. That is the asking. Whether you desire it to happen or you desire it not to happen, you are asking. You do not have to use words. You just have to feel it in your being. I desire this. I adore this. I appreciate this, and so on. That desire is the beginning of all attraction. It is our desire that you become one who is happy with that which you are and with that which you have, while at the same time being eager for more. There is a current that runs through everything. It exists throughout the universe. As you begin to understand the basis of your world and you begin to look for, and better said, feel for, your awareness of this source energy that is the basis of all things, you will then understand everything about your own experience. You will also more clearly understand the experiences of those around you. Like learning to understand the basics of mathematics and then having successful experiences understanding the results of their applications, you will now have a formula for understanding your world that will always be consistent, that will always yield consistent results to you. Everyone has this potential. It will be an extremely satisfying experience to identify your own personal desires, which will be rising from the contrasting life experiences you are living, and know that each of those desires can be realized. You can feel whether you're allowing your full connection to source energy or not. In other words, the better you feel, the more you're allowing your connection. The worse you feel, the less you're allowing your connection. You are a vibrational being, and everything you experience in your physical environment is vibrational. Every thought vibrates, every thought radiates a signal, and every thought attracts a matching signal back. We call that process the law of attraction. The law of attraction says, that which is like unto itself is drawn. So, as your experience causes you to launch vibrational rockets of desire, you might then find ways of holding yourself consistently in vibrational harmony with those desires in order to receive them in manifestation, right? If there is something you desire that you currently do not have, you need only put your attention upon it. However, if there is something that you desire that you currently do not have, and you put your attention on your current state of not having it, the law of attraction, then by the law of attraction, you will continue to not have that which you desire. That's the law, right? The key to bringing something into your existence that you desire is to achieve vibrational harmony with that which you desire. And the easiest way for you to achieve vibrational harmony with it is to imagine having it. Pretend that it's already in your experience. Flow your thoughts towards the enjoyment of the experience, and as you practice those thoughts and begin to consistently offer that vibration, you will then be in a place of allowing it into your experience. Now, by paying attention to the way you feel, you can easily know if you are giving your attention to your desire or if you're giving it to the absence of your desire. When your thoughts are vibrational matched to your desire, you feel good. Your emotional range would be anywhere from contentment to expectation to eagerness and joy. But if you are giving your attention to lack or the absence of your desire, your emotions would range from feelings of pessimism to worry to discouragement to anger to insecurity to depression. And so, as you become consciously aware of your emotions, you will always know how you are doing with the allowing part of the creative process. And you will never again misunderstand why things are turning out the way they are. Your emotions provide a wonderful guidance system for you. And if you will pay attention to them, you will be able to guide yourself to anything you desire. By the powerful law of attraction, you draw to you the essence of whatever you predominantly think about. Whatever you are thinking about is like planning a future event. When you are appreciating, you are planning. When you are worrying, you are planning. Nothing can occur in your life experience without your invitation of it through your thought. That's a hard one to understand when bad things happen. But think about where your thoughts have been and where you have been focusing your attention. That which is like unto itself is drawn. So the vibration of your being must match the vibration of your desire in order for your desire to be fully received by you. We want you to rediscover your innate ability to allow well-being to flow steadily, unrestrictedly into your experience. And we're going to call this discipline the art of allowing. We refer to the place where you are standing as the leading edge of thought. For as you stand there in your physical body, in your physical environment, having your physical experience, you are the furthermost extension of that which we are. As every person on your planet is having experiences that are causing their desires to be born, a sort of mass summoning is occurring, which literally equals the evolution of the planet. In other words, because of what so many have lived and are living, and because of the summoning power of so many of their desires, the well-being of your future experience is well in place. And, in like manner, your current desires will, in turn, provide an energy stream for future generations to benefit from. Think back to me manifesting my car. That opened the thought of possibility for someone else. Hey, I could do that too. Right? There is only a stream of well-being that flows. You can allow it or resist it, but it flows just the same. This unlimited stream of well-being, it is an abundance of all manner of things available to you at all times. But you must be in alignment with the receiving of those things. You cannot stand in resistance of them and receive them at the same time. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, right? The degree to which you feel blessed and expect good things to flow to you, this indicates the level of your state of allowing. And to the degree that you do not feel blessed, where you do not expect good things to come to you, this indicates your degree of resistance. I think we repeat that again and again because that's an important point. You know, how you are feeling about where you are and what you have is your indication of where you are in the process of receiving it. Nothing has to change in your environment or your circumstances Nothing has to change in your environment or in the circumstances that surround you for you to begin to deliberately allow your own connection to the stream of well-being. Wherever you are is where to start. It does not matter where you are. Just start. We have a built-in, easy to understand guidance system within us. Oh, sorry, I need to... The pronouns are a little bit tricky because he says we and they, and it's the collective consciousness. And I can't transpose when he says you, so just bear with me on that. You have a built-in, easy to understand guidance system within you with indicators that help you understand the strength or power of your signal as well as the direction of your focus. Your feelings are the representatives of your guidance system. In other words, the way that you feel is your true indicator of your alignment with your source and of your alignment with your own intentions, both in the past, currently, and future. And in the future. The only way to deliberately withdraw your attention from one thought is to give your attention to another. When you give your attention to anything, the vibration at first is not very strong. But if you continue to think about or speak about it, the vibration gets stronger. So, with enough attention to any subject, it can become a dominant thought. As you give more and more attention to any thought, and as you focus upon it, and therefore practice the vibration of it, the thought becomes an even bigger part of your vibration. And you could now call this practice thought a belief. The longer you ponder the thought, and the more frequently you return to the thought, the stronger your vibrational alignment becomes. As you achieve a stronger alignment with any thought, you then begin to feel emotions that indicate your increased or decreased alignment with your own source. So, when you see something that you would like to experience and you focus upon it, shouting yes to it, you include it in your experience. But when you see something that you would not want to experience and you focus upon it and shouting no at it, you also include it in your experience. You do not invite it in with your yes and exclude it with your no, because there is no exclusion in this attraction-based universe. Your focus is the invitation. Your attention to it is the invitation. So for an observer, the better it gets, the better it gets. Or the worse it gets, the worse it gets. However, one who is visionary thrives in all times. With your practice attention to any subject, the law of attraction delivers circumstances, conditions, experiences, other people, and all manner of things that match your habitual dominant vibration. And as things begin to manifest around you that match the thoughts you have been holding, you now develop stronger and stronger vibrational habits and proclivities. And so, your once small and insignificant thought has now evolved into a powerful belief, and your powerful beliefs will always be played out in your experience. I think that is a fine place for us to stop for now, because that's it was a lot, but it's also repetitive in some places. The important thing you need to realize is that we are the creators of our experience, and we receive that which we put our attention on. And so it behooves us to begin to pay attention. And when it comes to the thoughts surrounding the manifestation of our desires, our emotions are the guidance system letting us know if we're focused in the right direction and how powerfully close it may or may not be. So I'll leave you with that for now. Consider these words as you move throughout the week, and we'll come back next week for just a little bit more. I look forward to it. And I'll love you in the meantime. Bye.